Hello pilgrims, this is Anne here. Lovely to see you all. I just want to say a few words about the topic that I've chosen, which is empathy. We might sympathise with somebody or offer them support, but one of the greatest things we can do for people is to actually listen. And empathy comes from the Greek, meaning in, and pathos meaning feeling. So if we've actually experienced something that somebody else has experienced, we can actually understand. Like this past year with the coronavirus, if people have had it, then they can understand what somebody else is going through. All sorts of other terrible things that we can only understand if we've experienced it ourselves. And when I was a child, I used to wonder why Jesus had to go through such a horrific death. I used to think, why couldn't he have been rescued at the last minute? And now, as an adult, I realise, well, if God came to earth as human and experienced something horrendous, then whatever we go through, God has experienced it, so and worse. And so therefore God can empathise with us. We've got someone to refer to. Now I just want to say a few words about something that I did last year when lockdown eased in the summer, and I went and walked the Penryn Way. Something I'd wanted to do since my early 20s, and I thought, well, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? Not getting older, there's the threat of all sorts of things going on, and one of the greatest challenges I've ever done, carrying all the camping gear, plodding on day after day across moors and mountains and through storms and good weather and fantastic views, to give thanks to God for. And one of the challenges was trying to find, suitable places to camp each night, pitching the tent on a moor, or get across the moor first. And whenever I met another long distance hiker, and the other hikers were all on their own, we could all immediately empathise with each other because we knew what we were going through, the fears of the storms that we're going through, or fears of where to camp. Is it safe? Will I survive here? So we could empathise, and that was a real great support, actually, meeting another human being who knew exactly what each of us was going through. Met some lovely people who were very kind. There's one chap, he spent most of the day in this caravan at the front of his house, and the Penryn Way went right through his garden, and he'd offer tea to the long distance walkers, to the Penryn Way walkers, in exchange for chat and a bit of conversation. And there was a storm that I went through. Well, I went through many storms, one of them in particular, and I was heading for this so-called campsite, and when I arrived, the lady said, well, yeah, it's just a field, she said, on her farm. She said, but, in this awful weather, you don't want to camp there, it's just far too boggy. And she was a lorry driver, and so she offered, on the spur of the moment, she said, well, would you like to sleep in the cab of my lorry? And honestly, it was the best night's sleep of the entire Penryn Way. Looks like I have company here. Hello, dog. And I'm sitting on the riverbank near where I live. So there are usually birds to see here, more hens and swans and ducks and a heron. I always say crane, but it's a heron, plus all sorts of songbirds in the woods. And anyway, so I just want to say, this is one of the things that kept me going. Matthew 21:22, and Jesus said, if you have faith and do not doubt, if you believe, you'll receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Well, within reason, I suppose. And I did a lot of praying for strength to keep me going, for safety, for health. Okay, I did fall over an awful lot of times, but I didn't twist any ankles or have any serious injuries. So anyway, so I can empathise with anybody who goes through these things, and you as pilgrims can empathise with other walkers who go through thick and thin. So I wish you all health and happiness, and I'm going to read this little poem from this book that I usually take with me on the pilgrimages. A Walk and a Prayer by Nick Fawcett, and this poem's called The Storm Clouds. They changed everything, those clouds, in an instant. One moment the world bathed in light, and the next a shadow over all. One moment full of warmth, and the next a brooding chill. Thunder rumbled, lightning streaked the sky, and the storm broke in wild fury, and then it was gone. Skies bright once more, threats replaced by promise, sunshine after rain. Remind me, Lord, in the storms of life, when the clouds hang heavy and the world seems dark, that your light continues to shine through, though all seems in turmoil. Teach me, however distant you may seem, still to trust you, assured that your love will break through and its radiance hold me once more. Amen. And there's just one more little quote. This is Luke 24:36. Peace be with you. Happy Christmas. Happy pilgrimages. Oh, not happy Christmas. Happy Easter. What am I talking about? Bye. See you soon.